full moon blessings with you, Aries. This is Kapualani with Girl and her moon. And if you're ready, let's take a look at this March full moon in Virgo, Aries. Let's see what's going on. Okay. All right, Aries, what's that message from the universe this full moon? The Lovers. Whoa. Okay, look at you. Where have you been preparing for things to take flight? What next level steps, what next level commitments, contracts, partnerships, whatever the case may be. From the core, Aries, the most beautiful message that I get, the Lovers represents that sacred union and where all things are concerned, we work from the inside out. This is something to where you are definitely completing some things internally and preparing to also expand in so many other ways that you've been truly preparing. Like I can feel something very, very clear with karmic burn-off. So that being said, let's see what's being brought into your awareness, Aries. Whoa. Okay. Heart healing, self-worth, self-fulfillment. Like I said, those are next level ways of, anywhere that you may have been feeling a lack of confidence, where you have maybe been a little bit shy, a little bit reserved, holding back. Aries, this is such a lovely kind of coming to terms, a lovely sort of maturation and growth here in terms of, okay, I can trust my own pace. I can trust my own, zest for life type of desire to get up and go. So there's a really beautiful sort of energy opening up here, definitely. And obviously some very sacred union, twin flame type energies. So where relationships are concerned, especially partnerships, obviously the love, romantic commitments, that sort of thing. There's so much of this coming full circle feeling. So let's see what you might need to revisit. Stress, doubt, worry, anxiety. Could everything that I'm seeing and feeling be too good to be true? Start to address, okay, baby, where are you keeping yourself up at night for no reason? Where is it just truly the nerves? When you are a very, that especially with fire, there can be a little bit more in the nervous system, a more tendency to stress or more tendency toward anxiousness. So just start to connect with the breath, especially at nighttime. If you're really buzzing, maybe go for a nice meditative walk before, just to wind things down, shut down all of the, the electronics and things, just mindfully so that you can sleep. Okay, so let's get some advice. Oh my goodness, for a smooth full moon this month of March. My goodness, Ace of Cups, all about the love. Look at this. New beginnings, heart healing, things coming full circle. Okay, there's so much clarity here in really honoring the self-work, honoring just whatever you have pushed through in previous cycles. Trust. Okay, trust that it's not just the healing, but again, those new beginnings and new beginnings that are opening with a space of flow, a space of clarity, a space of I'm getting honesty and really feeling confident in like, yes, this truly resonates with me on a heart and soul level. So let's bring it home. What kind of vacation, what sort of downtime is your soul craving this full moon? Oh my goodness, Aries. Need I say more, baby? Hello, look at this, Empress. This is all about you, okay? Learn to be still, baby. Learn to be still, because just because you are staying in a fixed space and you're not running all over the place doesn't mean that the growth happens like inward. And like that tree, look up, just start to rise. pull your head up and rise and shine, you know, just like all of these gorgeous, and look at the softness. There's a softness here as well, Aries. So perhaps even, you know, where you've been feeling a little bit uncomfortable or just not quite, again, there's a thing about confidence and really stepping into yourself and owning it. So what I'm going to leave you with here, babe, is you know what to do. If you want to dive in to this reading with a personal one of your own, just extending on something totally different, of course, whatever you want, check us out, girlinnermoon.com. And always, if you're aware of it, if you're interested, take a peek also at your moon and rising signs. So till next time, have a gorgeous and bright, blessed full moon this month of March. Take care. Hi Taurus, this is Kapualani with Girl and Her Moon, ready to dive into your March full moon in Virgo forecast. So let's see what's ahead. Okay. Let's get that message from the universe for you, Taurus, this full moon, the Magician day. Snap, hello. Own it, baby, own it. This is your life, okay? That's the biggest message that I'm getting. When you see the Magician, especially if you do your card yourself and the Magician keeps coming up, it's saying that, you know, the choices in your hands, you have the ability to make whatever it is that you're wanting to happen. You have that ability to take action, to put things into action. It's about, you know, not just trusting that you have what it takes, but also just kind of embracing the journey ahead and knowing that right here, right now, what I'm putting into motion here and now, okay, that's what matters. And that's kind of what you're all about, Taurus, that practicality of like, listen, I got to figure out what's going on here for you know what I mean? So the power is in your hands, and where you might have been feeling a little bit reluctant or resistant to take yourself seriously even and say, hey, you know, I may have, and I may be ready to, you know, something that I've been thinking about for a minute. Maybe it's time to start seeing where I can implement some tangible, actionable steps. So let's see what this particular full moon will be bringing to your awareness, Taurus. Oh my goodness. Boom, boom. The Emperor. Okay. Power of fortitude, longevity, protection. What I love about this energy and what I'm seeing here with you, Taurus, is it feels very akin to your own vibrations. You know, when you want to, you can, like that charging bull, just, you know, do quick, very bold, quick movements. But otherwise, you have no problem just kind of sitting back and saying, hey, this little big situation, this environment, these people, the tools and resources that I'm kind of needing, it's not really up to par. So I'm just going to hang back because you know what? I'm not in a rush. I don't need to do any of this stuff. That's more of a risk, and I'm a practical person. So it's all good. These sacred masculine energies, very dynamically in terms of you becoming aware of how in charge you are of your own reality, how in charge you are of your own co-creations and manifestations. That's something that's going to be available for you to really sort of anchor into this full moon. So a lot of this really lovely planning, projecting for the future, really preparing yourself, you know, for what's next, in other words. Okay, so what might you need to revisit? The Chariot. Oh my gosh, look at these major arcana cards, Taurus. You've got some huge gateway energy going on here. This Chariot, the sun, I mean, the symbolism that I'm present to here, my goodness. With the Chariot, I'm actually feeling, because of the element of movement here, and I'm not talking like being in a vehicle or, you know, anything of that sort. I'm actually thinking of your physical body and in present to circulation. And because I understand just the nature, the fixed kind of nature, how Taurus physicality is, what I would love to say is if you've been feeling stagnated, if you've been feeling kind of just stuck, uninspired, unmotivated, Taurus, get your body moving, change it up a little bit, even if it is going for a little bit of a cruise or a quick drive, something like that, to switch it up so that you can have a nice reset. You need just a change of space. You need to let some fresh air in, okay? So let's get some advice for a smooth full moon, of course. Set of Wands. Oh my goodness. These are very active and I feel very inspired and inspiring energies, Taurus. What is looking interesting for you? You know, this is a nice sort of playful energy. While you may not be ready or necessarily in a position, and maybe things are not quite in that place for you to get moving and shaking, but you're preparing yourself, you're becoming aware that you are getting ready and that you are in that position, having what it takes, all that good stuff. So now it's saying, hey, it's only the beginning. Have fun, start to feel it out. You know, what feels warm, warm up to these new cycles, warm up to these creative energies and these nudges to kind of get you moving, okay? Exploration, opening up to new possibility potential, very big here, okay? All right, now, last but not least, what sort of vacation or downtime is your soul craving? Yeah, 6 of Wands, light and easy, being around, you know, people that really can be on the same page as you, be in the same sort of vibration. And if it's not, you know, you just kind of wanting to do your own thing, absolutely. Really take that time to look at your accomplishments. Take that time to sort of gather your, how shall I put it? The successes and all of the good and the exciting things that you've accomplished, just kind of presently, the things that you're getting ready to step into. So, you know, it's light and easy, surrounding yourself in good company, preparing for what's to come, getting a little bit of an overview, but you know, you don't want to get too far out because things are going to get ready to move soon. So that being said, Taurus, don't hesitate, reach out, girlinhermoon.com to book a session of your own. It's exciting stuff happening here. But otherwise, take a peek at your moon and rising signs as well, just to get a little bit of deeper insight. But otherwise, have a gorgeous and blessed full moon. Hey, Gemini. This is Kapualani with Girl on Her Moon, and just wishing you a blessed full moon this month of March. It's a Virgo full moon. So let's see, Gemini, what's in store. Okay, let's get that message from the universe, Gemini, this full moon. 10 of Pentacles. I love it. This is really anchoring into the goodness of what you've established. Not just like what is, but really like, wow, because I feel energy in motion. I feel the possibility of literally being in a position to focus on the home space, to focus on, you know, if it's not just necessarily home, like let's just say you're single and live alone or whatnot. I am not particularly, yes, the material, yes, your accomplishments on that level, but a communal sense. Even though these energies and the pentacles indicate obviously earth and material, I get a sense of connectivity with the symbolism, the family element, the home environment that the 10 brings, and this connection to community big time. So I feel like where you have been really asserting yourself, Gemini, this is saying take a break, take a load off, really look around. And even if it's about, whoa, you know, home's looking a little bit disheveled, time to really bring things, you know, to cleaning, organizing, alignment. That's what I meant to say. I feel this sense of giving you space to organize, that it will benefit you actually to maybe even clean, organize, and get yourself ready and established to continue on. Because I feel that there is energy of continuity here, of ongoing growth. And so it's just kind of time, right? Like as we live and breathe and things kind of get out of place and, you know, we rush around. It's good to take that moment to look at our space and to just get everything into that orderly sort of, you know, energy again. So something big there for you. Well, and lights kind of going off there. What this full moon will be bringing into your awareness, Gemini. 5 of Swords. Let's be mindful of where there might be any energies or feelings of self-doubt where you might be feeling like, am I being left behind? Again, when I speak about community, I feel like you've had a lot of accomplishments, and I feel like you're present to that, Gemini. You know, you feel good and confident. You feel content with what you have. And yet at the same time, there's a feeling of, gosh, am I doing enough? Is this all that it's going to be? You know, maybe you're seeing peers, maybe you're seeing friends, loved ones, or even just forget the loved ones and peers, but just, you know, people out there doing other inspired things that you're like, hey, that looks exciting. Maybe I might want to do that. And so that's where it's saying, where is there maybe a little bit of self-doubt and or self-criticism creeping in about, hey, am I really happy? You know, and it's saying, but yeah, like, why not? You know, because like everything else, it's all going to ebb and flow again. So let's see what you might need to revisit this full moon. Father of Swords, love it. There we go, critical thinking. So it's really funny because I'm hearing, you know, get wise to the facts, Gemini, and not in a judgy way at all, but like really see things clearly when you are, right, looking at it. That's arming yourself with your truth, not in any sort of a negative or toxic way or defensive way or offensive, any kind of way like that, but with that aspect of, hey, you know what, I don't need to be so harsh and critical on myself. Look, you know, it's okay. I'm happy to see those people growing and expanding, because guess what, this is that time for them to do that. There will be another time and space for me to get into my other projects, for me to shine, for me to, you know, have the spotlight, whatever the case may be, for a little bit. But now it's okay. You know, I am doing another piece of the puzzle within the bigger picture, like within, let's just say, if it's a company, if it's within your family, if it's within your partnership, even just you and your spouse, that kind of thing. Or even if it's like you're an artist and there's all these other artists doing all these other great things, you're like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? But you're in a good place, so it's okay. Don't let the external distract you, okay? Let's get some advice for a smooth full moon. Ace of Swords. Yes, arm yourself. Like I said, arm yourself to really see and embrace what you're doing, where you are focusing your energies, where you are focusing your intentions and your actual critical thinking and or just Zen moments, whatever. You are truly the navigator, and you are truly the one that's taking a bit more of a proactive, self-aware step in terms of saying, you know, I'm going to just turn the dial on this channel. Like, that's really good, happy for them, but I really need to just kind of focus on things that are keeping me grounded and centered, because I got to get, you know, just kind of stay grounded and centered and ready for what's coming next for me. So, and not get distracted. Okay, what sort of vacation, what sort of break or downtimes you're so craving? Patience, yep. And I'm thinking of a needle and thread. So again, taking that time, you know, really when you look back and say, hey, my life is good. I've really accomplished a lot, blah, blah. But guess what? When you make money and you've got like a nice chunk, you still got to spend it, right? Like, not like, you know what I'm saying? Just like, being, how shall I put this, wasteful with your money or whatnot, but there's groceries and whatever kind of bills might come up. And so that's where it's saying, hey, just because you're not in a hustle, bustle, rush mode, like I said, you're not kind of really out there, doesn't mean that you don't have things to do. So it's just in a different frequency, vibration, and focus, but you still got it going on. This is just saying, take a moment. Like I said earlier, you've got things to prepare for. So get ready. Even if you're not totally aware of what that is, you know that the new cycles are coming. So keep that in mind, Gemini. Don't hesitate to, you know, book a session of your own, as you know, girlonthemoon.com. And take a peek at your moon and rising signs as well, just to get a little bit of deeper insight. But otherwise, have a blessed and bright full moon. Take care. Hi, Cancer. This is Kapualani with your Girl on Her Moon March full moon in Virgo forecast. So let's take a look-see. Okay, Cancer, let's get that message from the universe, shall we? Boom, Two of Swords. Oh my gosh. Are you laughing, Cancer? I mean, it's kind of ironic, isn't it? No, I'm just kidding. Maybe that's just what came out. It wasn't me, okay? I'm just the messenger. I'm just the voice box. With the Two of Swords, it's saying, you know, right now it's going to be best for you really not to make your mind up about anything, just for now. Just, again, we're just looking at a full moon cycle, Cancer. Okay, so sit on, you know, rest on those claws, those pinchers a little bit. I'm getting the swords in terms of putting yourself to work and or the ideas, figuring out, what do I do here, what do I, you know what I mean, what's going to be coming next. With the Two of Swords, of course, it's just saying, hey, things are not stalemated, things are not stagnating. This is just a period of like something like an interim for you to just be still while the elements at play are kind of bringing things together. You know, there's some things that have yet to be revealed. So let's see, with that in mind, what this full moon will be bringing to your awareness, Cancer. The Empress. Yep. Perfect. Sit pretty. I feel like these energies are just so Cancerian, you know, because it's just that softness, the sensitive nature that this Empress embodies, and how I often, you know, refer to Cancer, just kind of that energy of the home and family and all that sort of thing. And as we have just this energy of the Empress, while we're very aware that, you know, things are in motion, especially when we see the moon, and that it definitely does indicate that things are yet underway, this sort of beautiful stillness, but yet quiet contemplative energy that the Empress here, that I'm present to at least, is bringing into. Just remember, you know yourself very well, Cancer. Just because you might be kind of pulled back, hermiting in your shell a little bit, doesn't mean that there aren't some wheels turning, doesn't mean that you aren't aware. Okay, we just need to give life and time a little bit of, you know, space to move and shake, and soon enough, you know, the fruits that I'm looking to, you know, the go ahead and harvest or whatnot, it will be there. So there's something here about really stepping into your life lived experiences, just the lessons that you've learned and growth that you've established, you know, in terms of saying, hey, you know, what's going on? Normally, right, we might freak out and be like, oh my gosh, nothing happening. What do I do? What do I do? With the Empress is saying, look, everything's actually pretty good right now. I'm just going to focus on me, myself, and I, house, home, what I need to get done, priorities, Tomorrow's a new day. Going to bring something different. So what do you need to revisit this full moon? Yeah, fortitude, applying yourself perhaps. It's really in the action. So less thinking, more just putting one foot in front of the other, okay? And it may really serve you in that case if your sensitivities are especially heightened and, you know, it's just too much to work with certain distractions, people, energies, whatnot. Do your best to just put those blinders on and push through, okay? It will not be for very long, okay? So let's get some advice for smooth full moon, for Pentacles. Yep, hunker down, okay? Really focus on just the simple things, simple tasks. Don't let yourself kind of, like I said, get overwhelmed with thinking. Keep it more about those actionable, tangible steps, and more in a space of consistency. Things that are going to be rooting you into a space of foundation, and loosening up a little bit if you are feeling like really in that more, I don't want to say a hoarder, but when it comes to being frugal, at least, like, there's nothing wrong with that, but be a little bit like, take a little bit of the pressure off yourself, okay? Because again, things are cycling again. They're going to be cycling and opening up again soon. So let's see what sort of break or vacation. So it's craving, temperance, yeah. Look at that, a little bit of slowing down in some areas. I feel this sense of a decompression, honestly. Like, if you've really been applying yourself and or kind of, if you've been waiting on something, you're like, gosh, more waiting, and or this is a space where it will serve you. I'm going back to that word decompression. You know, where can you really kind of take a load off? Where can you shift gears? And like I said here, if you've been hunkering down a little bit, if you've really been mindful and disciplined with a routine, with your budget, finances, that sort of thing, take a break is what this is saying. Let yourself, again, just blow off some steam, recharge, let some fresh air in, you know, circulate, that kind of thing. Don't worry, the work's not stopping, the growth and all that kind of thing won't yield. Just let yourself balance, okay? And so all that said, reach out, girlonthemoon.com, to book your own personal session. And also, if you'd like, think about taking a look at your moon and rising signs for some deeper insight. So have a gorgeous full moon, Cancer. Hey Leo, it's Kapualani with your girl and her moon full moon forecast for the month of March. This is the full moon in Virgo. So let's see what's up, Leo. Okay. Let's get that message from the universe, Leo. Mother of Pentacles. Okay. A few things. Be ready. Really take this time. You know, I feel a sense of not exactly, oh yeah, just like chill out, relax, be still, but it's more about be ready. There are changes underway. Just as if, you know, when I'm present to this deer and the fawn, taking a little bit of a breather, I'm almost feeling the piece where, you know, it's time to get up. Okay, you know, let's stretch our legs. Not quite yet. So it's saying, okay, where do you sort of feel yourself being pulled, being guided, you know, as we are approaching these new cycles and so forth? The attention to, I'm feeling like the body, the physical, your physical needs and how you are physically feeling is also something present here in terms of just, you know, messages and insights, and where you especially have been, I feel like if you've been saving up and or in a space where you've been a little bit more kind of mindful toward your finances, home life situation, and or again just how your physical moving and shaking of things. I know that it's not wands, but for some reason, you know, I just think of that responsibility to our actual selves here, that kind of extension of ourselves, Leo. That's a lot of what I see kind of coming up. So, you know, if you're kind of wondering, oh, why am I feeling this, or this is really sort of coming up for me, this should sort of, I hope, affirm, you know, if you've been feeling nudges to kind of start thinking about what your next steps or what your next sort of options or game plans might be. Not a rush type of thing, but just, you know, you sense a changing in the winds is all. So let's see what this particular full moon will bring to your awareness. Father of Cups. Yep. Like I was saying, shifting the energies with the Father of Cups here. I'm getting, listen to your inner voice. Don't be afraid to really put yourself out there. The Father of Cups really speaks toward building self-confidence in terms of where your intuitive, empathic self, you know, is guiding you, where your higher self, where your heart is sort of pulling you. And so this energy here with the Father of Cups, what this particular full moon brings to your awareness, again, Leo, trusting in your heart and knowing that you're safe to step out and navigate among just whatever direction, whatever field. Like, you know, I just see it in terms of the swan kind of stepping out and swimming on the, you know, the lake or whatever the case may be, and not necessarily feeling too intimidated or bothered about whoever else might be out there. So let's see what you might need to revisit this full moon. The Lovers, yeah. Okay. There are tones of growth, personal growth, because I always got to work this from the inside out here. Okay, Leo, personal growth, things shifting to the next level. Wherever you have been sort of waiting mindfully, preparing, holding space, that sort of thing, for, like I was saying earlier, tongue-tied, oh my goodness, so tongue-tied, tongue-twisted, those new directions, or even if it's just not really knowing, right, the how, just kind of a desire for a change and a readiness to step into those new beginnings and so forth. I get that here with the Lovers. And so when we're revisiting this, it's asking what direction again is speaking to you. How can you build confidence in terms of really applying and starting to open up to those energies? Okay, so it's saying, you know, don't hesitate to start to stretch your limbs a little bit and put yourself out there if you have been holding back for whatever which reason. And also really, I feel when we're looking at the Lovers here, I'm feeling a presence of balance, harmony, obviously from the inside out, but also, you know, when you're working relationships and how, you know, you're sort of reflecting, and there are advancements in terms of where you're preparing to step. So don't hesitate to move out of your comfort zone, okay? All right, advice for a smooth full moon. Yeah, 4 of Pentacles. Where are you being a little bit, you know, too kind of stuck maybe in routine and or uncertainty, you know? It's not saying that you have to go out and bust a move just yet necessarily, but it's about, I'm hearing like greasing the wheels, you know, greasing the wheels a little bit, because there are things that are still in motion. The journey is not just continuing, but you're getting ready to potentially grow and evolve, you know, even more so. So what sort of vacation is your soul craving? Son of Pentacles, yeah, step by step. Step by step, explore. Really give yourself the opportunity to experience to the fullest those things that you are engaging, whether it's a meal, because sometimes I see the Son of Pentacles like a hungry teenager, you know, but there's still a space where we have to stay on track. Obviously, there's still a space where we're having to show up, but it's more like, okay, we got to be responsible and just kind of, you know, do this in our own time and space. But really the whole point is being present to the experience, engaging the experience, because that's where you know, the richness truly is, when you are kind of trying to get from point A to point B. And, you know, if you're at the beginning of something like a certification program or whatnot. So it's about really being present to those skills, those changes and things that you are engaging in and looking to step into, and not rushing the process. Okay, Leo? So keep in mind, check us out, girlandhermoon.com, to schedule your own session, of course. And also check out your moon and rising signs if that sounds savvy. But have a gorgeous full moon. Okay, take care. Bright full moon blessings, Virgo. Kapualani here with your girl and her moon March full moon in Virgo forecast. So it's your full moon, Virgo. Let's see what's coming through. All right, that message from the universe, Virgo. Boom, the Chariot. Okay. If there are feelings of restlessness and or anxiousness, okay, Virgo, with the Chariot, it's saying focus yourself. Focus, apply your focus to those areas where even though the details may seem tedious or minute, it's still something that needs to get done and will in fact benefit you in the long run. Like, for example, just as simple as doing something like that before you step out onto a stage and present yourself to an audience, for example. Not just kind of walking out there like, ooh. That might happen anyway, but it's one of those things where the Chariot is saying, listen, Virgo, you have not only, I don't want to say like, oh yeah, you've arrived, but you can trust, the progress that you've made. This is that time to start to trust your feet, trust your steps. Don't think about your steps, just take a step, okay? And nobody's saying to go run out full force, but like give yourself a little bit of practice. So, for example, if you've been trying to, you know what I'm saying? If you're starting off at 0, you're not trying to get to 100, just all of a sudden, you're going to build up to that. And it's okay, Virgo, okay? But stop thinking, less thinking, more in just the gentle, applicable, actionable, tangible steps and things, okay? So what will this woman bring to your awareness? Mother of Cups, gentleness, knowing your boundaries and limits, okay? There's something here about doing the inner work, trusting in the timing of your own process. Don't worry, okay? Don't worry. What is meant to be yours, what is meant for you, isn't going anywhere, Virgo. Okay, but we got to be able to really love, honor, and be there for ourselves. And again, with the Mother of Cups, more than anything, it's an awareness of what is my dance space, what is your dance space. So more than anything, right, in order to identify those areas, we got to start from the inside out, right? And that's where I feel this energy in the Mother of Cups of the self-healing and just kind of saying, listen, I totally am happy to be there for you, but right now I got my own stuff. With love. So that's okay. What you may need to revisit this full moon, Daughter of Pentacles, gentleness, step by step, like I said. Less thinking, more of just, don't be afraid to kick that fur. Like I was thinking of that fawn or a baby colt. Firstborn, and kind of trying to find its feet wobbling, but it got to stand up, It's got to stand up, right? At least stand up and take those first steps and whatnot. And so with that, Daughter of Pentacles is saying before you want to get, like I said, to flying, at least feel confident standing and taking those bigger, initial steps toward self-love, self-care, and just being gentle, with the process and not kind of like putting so much pressure on yourself, okay? So, all right, let's get some advice for smooth full moon. Yep, Temperance, that's what I was saying, what it's all about, okay? So from that very sort of conscious mind and from that space of not just personal and self, responsibility to ourselves, but that mindfulness and the respect to the timing and the process of all things, to the alchemical sort of process of all things that, for example, when you're baking a cake, there, like, yes, I get it. There's all kinds of advancements, but you got to start with the ingredients, put it in the oven, hit it with the heat, give it a bit of time. It still has to, you know what I'm saying? It's not just like, oh, look, boom, cake. You know what I mean? There are actual physical things that need to happen. We can't just think the cake into existence here. So that's where Temperance is saying, give yourself a break. I know in theory and so forth, it looks so easy, but don't be afraid to just like, instead of thinking that you have to have it all figured out in the brain and all that kind of stuff before you even step out there, like step out there. Okay. So again, and last but not least, what sort of downtime or vacation is your soul craving? Yeah. Rooting, surrounding yourself with people, places, experiences, especially, if it's not necessarily people, obviously, but even food, soothing types and healing, comforting sorts of foods that are going to be like soul foods. I'm really present to that, soul foods and soul company. Okay, nurturing the inner child, any of that inner healing work. When I'm looking at the tree and the roots here, I think of the familial connection. So any sort of generational healing that you've been doing or that you're open to looking at, that sort of thing. But more than anything here, it's about refueling, and it's about really acknowledging those sorts of heart and soul connections that you want to be surrounded by more than anything. Okay, so and your space and all that, what just harmoniously, that give and take. So All that being said, Virgo, have a gorgeous full moon, and don't hesitate. Check us out, girlandthemoon.com, to book a personal private session of your own, and think about looking at your moon and rising signs as well for a bit of extra insight and inspiration. So until next time, take care. Hey Libra, this is Kapualani with your Girl and Her Moon March full moon in Virgo forecast. So I hope this finds you doing well, Libra. Let's see what this particular full moon has in store. Okay. First up, what does the universe have to say this full moon, Libra? Ace of Swords. Okay. Trust your process. You're armed and ready to take on whatever challenges might be ahead, and or just sort of coming to a head, if that makes sense. I feel a sense of stillness with this Ace of Swords. I do feel a sense of mental clarity and a desire to sort of take action. So just trust, okay, Aries. I mean, Libra, there will be a space. Where was I going with that? I'm just thinking of the fire here from these lightning bolts, Libra. So I can imagine that being said, that mentally you might be feeling very stimulated, present, focused, ready to take action. All right. So let's see what this full moon will be bringing into awareness, Libra. Four of Pentacles. Okay, time is on your side. All right. As you start to notice your day-to-day routine, as you start to notice specific patterns and whatnot, if you haven't already, you can really lean into those areas that do stabilize and create a form of a solid foundation for you. Okay, with this kind of very exciting, dynamic Ace of Swords, that readiness to, make things happen, and or having that acumen to, it's just the clarity of focus and decision making that I see. The Four of Pentacles here again is just about preparing, not jumping ahead of things, but creating a strong foundation, a strong consistency first. So let's see what you might need to revisit. Nine of Pentacles, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, taking a look at the successes, the progress that you have been able to sustain, maintain, to generate, co-create, manifest thus far. Also taking a look at your surrounding environments and yourself. I'm kind of feeling this energy and attentiveness toward perhaps revamping some things. If you haven't quite taken the time or had the time to, it's just like when you look in the mirror and just really acknowledge how far you've come, and really saying, oh, where could you give yourself a little bit more care? Where could you, it's like shine things up is a bit of what I'm present to when I see this Nine of Pentacles. So it's like, if you've really especially been, I want to say, like, budgeting and keeping things at a very minimum, start to notice how it's benefited you, and notice your gains, okay? So let's get some advice for smooth full moon, Daughter of Wands. Okay, so you can start to open up and really ask yourself and see what is kind of calling, what is speaking to you, in terms of, delighting the senses is just the phrase that comes to mind, Libra. Even with this Nine of Pentacles, again, where you may have sort of said, okay, I'm just going to self-discipline, I'm not going to treat or indulge on these things or that things. It's saying, hey, nobody's saying go crazy and spend all your money at once, but it's new cycles are opening up. Where could we bring in some fresh energy? Okay, so and inspiring energy. What is inspiring you at this point? So what sort of downtime vacation is your soul craving? Yeah. Nine of Swords. See? clarity. If and where you've been feeling conflicted, worried, anxious, like, am I going to make it? Am I going to have enough? You know, not to sound so extreme, but anywhere that you may have had some anxieties, some self-doubts. You know, I tend to say, you know, what's keeping you up at night? When I see this card, and so when we approach it in terms of taking a break, a little bit of a respite, say put your mind at ease. Okay, you're starting to gain perspective. You're starting to see things with a bit more clarity and how shall I have confidence again. So keep that in mind, Libra, and don't hesitate. Reach out, girlinnermoon.com, to schedule a personal session of your own. And also check out your moon and rising signs for a bit of extra insight. And have a blessed and gorgeous full moon. Hey, Scorpio, it's Kapualani with Girl Letter Moon. If you're ready, we're going to be diving into this March full moon in Virgo. Okay, Scorpio, let's get that message from the universe. Two of Swords, minding your time here, biding your time in a way. I feel like when I see this Two of Swords for you, Scorpio, it's kind of saying, you know, easy come, easy go. You're really good about kind of pulling back. And even if and where there are things that may sort of irk you or rub you the wrong way, you know, sometimes, yeah, of course, there's that part where, sorry, you just unleashed that tail. It's just gonna, hey. But other times you do have a knack to kind of just be mellow. Like Scorpios tend to, not all, of course, and not always, but there tends to be a little bit more of a long fuse at times. So, you know, just depends, I guess, how long that fuse has been burning, right? But with the Two of Swords, most especially here, the message is just sustain and maintain. The sun will come out, the moon will come out, you know, one way or another. And from there, you'll know what you want to do, okay? So let's see what this full moon will bring into your awareness. Yeah. Ooh, could there be a little bit of a painful, obvious truth? I don't want to say necessarily that it would be like so much harm, but one of those things where once I almost feel like, you know, when you finally see something, like when they're saying, hey, where's Waldo or whatever, you're like, oh, and then you can't unsee it. So I suppose, right, with the Son of Swords, because there's a little bit of a restlessness there, and I'm thinking again of that tail, that scorpion tail that's being unleashed. It's saying, you know, as you are taking that time to meditate, and or as the energies are more conducive and, you know, likely for you to just kind of hang back and observe, so to speak, it gives you a space to really witness your own growth, perhaps, and or areas where you may have been a little bit unintentionally abrupt or just harsh with the words, you know, with, you know, not necessarily that there's an intention there, but again, like when there's an obvious truth, sometimes you're like, hey, you know, it's like, oh, sorry, because sometimes when you go, hey, there's somebody that ends up like getting, you know, spooked, and then this whole thing, it's like, oh, sorry, you know what I mean? It's just as simple and innocent as that, but it's about a mindfulness that, you know, you do have a very clearly spiritually soul defined space in this world, Scorpio. Okay, so don't hesitate to really, it's not just utilizing your voice, but sit with that voice and really take a little bit of a deeper look. Like you like doing that anyway. So what might you need to revisit? Yep, Mother of Wands, there's these energies that are very much conducive toward pause, that are very much conducive towards inner reflection and or perspective, protecting also what you value, protecting those investments, those relationships and so forth, that you are and have been nurturing, putting the effort into. So your own future, your own potential, you know. And when I say relationships, the inner work that we do on ourselves, you know, and how we are transforming ourselves because we want to maintain and sustain healthy relationships. So you're ready to grow. There are very much these areas where you're ready to grow and develop. And this isn't necessarily about, oh yeah, attitude and choice of words, but it's also perhaps undeveloped ideas. Now it's like, oh, maybe I need to take a little bit of time and put some energy, the life force, the wands into it, rather than just kind of thinking, okay, like I'm really excited about this. Woohoo, we're just gonna make it happen. I kind of have an idea of it, but I'll figure it out. It's saying, no, this is a time where I get it. I know it may seem that way, but you're going to be served most through action and effort rather than words. Okay, so at this point, it's all about the going inward and focusing on your passions, focusing on where you're devoting your time and energy. So advice for a smooth full moon. 10 of Wands. Okay, where are you carrying the heaviest burdens, Scorpio? Where might there be a little bit of conflict, even potentially in the home front, in whatever way, you know, where you may be feeling just exhausted? I feel this sense of, in that way, if there are or have been such burdens or conflicts, this is a symbol of it all kind of coming to an end. So the way that we approach this, step by step, slow and steady. Okay, slow and steady. You're almost there. And when we spoke of doing the inner work, right, and having the growth and the realizations, it's saying, don't worry, the heavy lifting, the hard part, you know, it's almost over. So what sort of downtime or vacation is you're so craving? 4 of Wands, love it. So not just, you know, with the 4 of Wands, there is a sense of support. There's a sense of, you know, in some ways, even though it's not an ace, you do get a feeling of beginnings. And because I think I mentioned it earlier with relationships and partnerships and the value of really gaining a clear perspective of like why and what it's all about, you know, the reward that follows, right? The sacrifice and the effort. So it's just like building a home, if you want to put it that way, you know? It's just like, oh man, on paper it looks so easy, but then when you actually are applying it and you're putting the steps in, whoo, it's a whole different story. But at the end of it, woohoo, look what you gain. So look toward what's inspiring you truly, and look toward your why, and those that, you know, your support system, the people that you see being part of that vision and part of that future, part of that co-creation, Scorpio. So don't hesitate, reach out, girlinthemoon.com, to schedule a personal session of your own, of course, and check out your moon and rising sign as well for a bit of deeper insight. So till next time, take care. Hey Sag, this is Kapualani with your girl and her moon, March full moon in Virgo forecast. So let's see what's up. Okay, your message from the universe, Sagittarius. The world, eye-opening experiences, my goodness, excitement, a little bit of distraction, because, you know, when there's a lot of beautiful things to look at, it can be very overwhelming. You're not quite sure where to focus your attention. So I feel like for you, Sag, this full moon should be very, very, again, forgive the analogy and the phrasing, but eye-opening. Take a moment to take it all in more than anything. Okay, you are definitely hitting the pulses of some exciting things. And you know, where it comes to new cycles and whatnot, I would not be surprised if you've already kind of experienced some exciting first, or some exciting, like, oh wow, I've never experienced this before type things, Sagittarius, or at least you might be looking very closely to those new beginnings. So let's see what this particular full moon will be bringing into your awareness. Mother of Cups. Okay, I love this. Self-nurturing, self-care, honoring and realizing that as much as success and growth and being exposed to a whole new situation, all new experiences, things that you've wanted to experience, Sag, it can also be very, again, overwhelming. So don't forget to be mindful of your energy, your space, your time, and limits and boundaries with that regard. Okay, and when I say that limits and boundaries in the Mother of Cups, it's just about the types of energies that you're surrounded by. Because with the Mother of Cups, it's saying, remember, you're a sensitive individual, very emotionally empathic, emotionally intuitive, regardless of how you may kind of work with that energy. Your body, your soul, very present to those energies. Okay, so that's where it's saying start, you know, it's about self-ownership, becoming that mother to the self and saying, hey, you know, like I said, when you have all these great experiences, like, ooh, I think I need to take a step back, take a breath. That's even just something as small as that. Okay, so what you might need to revisit this full moon. Yeah, look at that, swimming here. Really a lot of beautiful, beautiful, exciting, emotional stuff. Soul frequency, soul aligned, soul family connections, a lot of positive openings, a lot of supportive connections that are possibly being reestablished, reignited in some way, even if it's like, oh wow, we've never met, but it feels like I've known you for a long time type of thing. So in terms of the revisitation, again, going to your space, your comfort zone, surrounding yourself by your own sort of familial, intimate energies, your own home, recharging and getting grounded again so you can feel centered and not so woo, you know, possibly all over the place, from all the potential dynamic things that may be happening for you. So advice for a smooth full moon, the Tower. Wow. Breaking away. Okay. No looking back is part of what I'm hearing either, in a good way. So definitely a shift in perspective, big time. This in a more serious way could be in terms of, you know, when we do go through a lot of eye-opening, life-shifting experiences, spiritual awakening experiences, you look at yourself differently, you feel differently, you see the world differently, you see your family and friends and your loved ones differently in a way. And so that's where in that Tower, you know, that shift in perspective of being like, whoa, you know, this is totally, holy smokes, you know what I mean? One of those ways of approaching it. And I feel like for you, Sag, it's a bit easier because you do have a bit more of that lighter hearted nature to kind of blow off tougher times type thing. Not that you don't feel it, of course, but what can you do, right? But except keep a positive or optimistic attitude and demeanor as best as you can, as authentically as you can, you know, in light of the shifts and the changes. So be excited about these big potential opportunities, even if it's just like, oh my gosh, you know, how can I manage all of it? There will be time, okay? There will be time and space for everything to find its place in your life, in your world. So what sort of vacation is your soul craving? Look at that. Judgment. Okay. So these energies of renewal, of breaking free, this energies of ascending to next levels, growth and maturity, not just, you know, within yourself, so to speak, but really advancing on a karmic soul level. You're really walking away, like whatever your life was before, it's definitely, you are definitely walking into some future timeline stuff, you know, opening up to your future timeline and some good stuff here, Sag. So think about setting up a personal session of your own, of course, girllearnermoon.com. You know where to go. And also check out the moon and rising signs if that should sound good to you. But have a blessed, gorgeous full moon. Hey Capricorn, happy March. Full moon of Virgo, this is Kapualani with your girl and her moon. March full moon forecast. Let's see Capricorn. Okay. Capricorn, what's that message from the universe this full moon? Mother of Swords. Observe, gain a higher perspective. More than anything, do your research. Do your research, do your homework, prepare yourself. And also, when it comes to any particular conflicts or heated conversations or circumstances, withdraw. That's where taking that higher perspective so that you can really understand what it is that you're looking at, what it is that you're dealing with, and from that sort of detached, more, how shall I put it, neutral, I guess is the best way, the best word to use here, perspective. Okay, there may be better opportunities for you to pursue elsewhere, even if it's dealing with up close and personal loved ones like your mate, like your spouse, or even your child for that matter. This is a time where your wisest advantage is, mum's the word, we're just going to watch and observe, okay? So, what will this particular full moon bring to your awareness? Yep, not being overwhelmed by what you're hearing, what you're seeing. Now, when it, bodes toward the positive, like taking advantage of an opportunity, getting excited about some kind of change that you're wanting to make yourself, that's again doing the homework, okay? This aspect again of what's being brought into your awareness. Now the colors here that we're seeing is what is exciting you, what is really sort of connecting and speaking to you, and remembering that there is more than just these one or two options, one or two ways of you going about doing something, learning something, and or growing for that matter, and or just like, okay, that's it. No, there's yet more out there for you to explore. There's more out there to really get that intellectual side stimulated and excited again. So let's see what you might need to revisit that in mind. Patience and persistence. Okay, you're almost there. Okay, this is an energy that good things are underway. It's a very indicative that the projects, the steps that you've taken, the results that you have manifested and co-created thus far have yielded enough progress such that you can actually start to take a look at, okay, you know what, I'm about 80% of the way there. This Eight of Pentacles, just, little, sorry. How, where can I now sort of focus my time, my energy, my value to have, to complete this successfully or whatnot? Because you're not going to, when you're starting off at zero, you're not going to be putting in the same sort of effort, and you're not going to have the same perspective as you would going from zero versus now 8 out of 10, right? Steps of the way there. So there's something about really, in a positive way, taking accountability for how far you've come, because it's like, wow, I don't have to push as hard. Yes, I don't want to give up, but I also don't want to burn myself out, so I can shift gears in how I've been doing what I've been doing. So let's get some advice, okay, for a smooth full moon. 10 of Wands. Don't give up, like I said, but don't burn yourself out either, okay? Like when you think about... I'm so guilty, but the grocery thing, carrying groceries from the car, like, listen, I know you just want to make one trip, but seriously, like, you have all that stuff, you're just break it down. You know what I mean? Pace yourself and don't give up. You're almost there, okay? And that's where it's like, get a higher perspective so that you're also not suffering yourself for no reason, that you're not putting in such a grueling effort for something that really only takes, okay, here, that kind of effort. So what sort of vacation, is your soul craving? Yeah, connection, okay, co-collaboration. I feel this sense of maybe being a little bit of tired of working alone and or doing it on your own and saying, okay, where can I really surround myself in good company? I'm not talking about a big social event or a party, but like-minded individuals where I can really sort of, again, that word collaborate and sort of share a similar frequency of I know this is pentacles, but I think of the physicalness, the physical connectedness in terms of coming together here and creating with that intention of just, when you have that moral support of like-minded individuals, but with a little bit of that difference, everybody who has their own uniqueness adding to the puzzle can create such beautiful long-term results, right? And so again, in terms of that vacation that your soul might be craving, those like-minded individuals and or those next steps, those next pieces of the puzzle to really start putting things together. Okay, so Capricorn, reach out girlonthemoon.com to schedule your own personal session, and check out your moon and rising signs as well for some, deeper insight. And have a blessed, bright full moon. Hey Aquarius, this is Kapualani with Girl on the Moon wishing you a gorgeous full moon this March. Looking at full moon in Virgo, Aquarius. Let's see what's up. All right, Aquarius, your message from the universe. The Fool. Take chances. Take a chance. Step out into the world with joy and vibrancy. I love this energy of the Fool for you, Aquarius, because, just the ability to move and operate at the beat of your own rhythm, I suppose. It's like they say that they march to the beat of their own drum. That's what I get here, really, with this Fool card. So don't hesitate to take a chance on yourself. Take a chance on, even if it's like, oh my gosh, am I going to embarrass myself? Am I going to humiliate myself? Be spontaneous, especially where it comes to allowing yourself to have, experiences of joy. We're not looking for some kind of long-term commitment here necessarily, just a space for unlocking that childlike sense of play and innocence more than anything, okay? So what will this full moon be bringing into your awareness, Aquarius? Father of Pentacles. You see, sometimes when you try new things, you might realize, hey, I'm actually really good at this. So, some potential to start to lay some substantial groundwork in, how shall I put this? Further developing your own successes in life. Like, for whatever reason, I feel a very entrepreneurial energy here with the Father of Pentacles. So, apply yourself. Don't hesitate. Like I said, like even if it's, maybe you've been contemplating and it's not exactly your particular industry or, what you specialize in, but it's something that you've always kind of thought about, or, hey, speaking to you, like I said, give it a shot, take a look. You might realize that you're a lot better, a lot more skilled and better and able-bodied to make something happen than you realize. So let's see what you might need to revisit this full moon. The Lovers. Okay. I'm hearing actually, it's as interesting, and forgive me now because I mean this with love, but it's saying like compassion, harmony, and balance. Of course, and always, and I say this every time, but we look at this from the inside out. Fairness with yourself. You're allowed to make changes, step out into the world in new, dynamic, and unexpected ways. I don't know why, Spirit Universe is putting it this way exactly, but it's kind of like saying you've earned it. You've earned these areas that you're looking to really grow into. You've earned your place, in this world, in this particular, whatever the particular circumstances, rather, that you are looking to progress into, step into, develop into next, whatnot. The revisitation here with the Lovers from the inside out, one, self-check, coming into terms with, for example, if you had been just on a certain trajectory, and again, the Fool is saying take a chance, be spontaneous. Don't hold back. You got to honor, again, that inner child. That's part of the harmony and the balance. Parent, adult, and, excuse me, parent and child. Excuse me. And then when we sort of merge those energies, there's that balance of, sustaining and maintaining things, like a job that we feel passionate about, for example, because you can have a passion, but it doesn't mean that passion is going to pay the bills at the end of the day, right? So it's saying, take a look at where you're ready and where you actually are able to bring what may look like completely opposing worlds together. Okay, because you've got the ability to do it, like something that you've never done before, something you never experienced, and the fact that, hey, actually, well, business is business. Business is business. So if you know business, you can do, you know what I mean? But you've never done business in this thing. You've always done business in this thing. How do those skills apply? Aha. So, advice for a smooth full moon. Look back at your experiences. Look back at the actual life lived experiences and challenges that you have overcome, like with work, for example. I was just mentioning it. You know what I mean? Who you are now isn't who you used to be. And that could be said for all of us. Obviously, when we look back at the past 2-3 year cycle, especially. But with the Nine of Wands, it's saying, listen, you may have forgotten that back at step 1 here, you established blah, blah. You've come a long way. That you may have forgotten the basics, like how they have surgeons who specialize in like brain surgery, but they don't do general surgery so much. So when they have to do something so easy, like, you know what I mean? Just something super, super easy. And then having to teach it, they don't know how to explain the process. Like, oh, well, you just did it. Just like, but I don't, what do you mean? You know what I'm saying? It's just, that's where it's saying get caught up, because you may not realize all the skills that you have. So let's see what sort of break, what sort of vacation your soul's craving. The Star. Yeah. Look at the bigger picture. Get excited. Okay. What do you imagine? We're not expecting perfection right away, and we don't need or want that yet. It's too overwhelming, right? We're like trying to be focused on the here and now. But also it's like, I could use a little bit of motivation. I could use a little bit of something to say, hey, how about this focus direction? That North Star, that guiding star in the sky to help you, light your way and at least kind of keep your focus and your direction as you are moving and shaking out there. Because, consistency, that is what develops, those results in the long run, right? So, Aquarius, don't hesitate. Reach out, girlandhermoon.com, to schedule a personal session of your own, of course. And also, take a look at your moon and rising signs. Just a little bit of deeper insight there. So have a good one. Take care till next time. Pisces, this is Kapualani with your girl and her moon. Full moon in Virgo forecast for the month of March. Here we go. Okay. Get that message from the universe, Pisces. 10 of Cups. Okay. Surrounding yourself in good company. Really allowing yourself the time and space to focus on house and home. yeah, perhaps the relationships, but more than anything, how you're feeling within the connections, relationships in your community, in your workspace, in those more intimate sort of group gatherings, and or where, even for you, Pisces. Sorry, there's so many different messages coming through right now. With the water, that connection to family, the connection to cycles, there's something to do with endings and beginnings here for you. Okay? So take that time to circulate, take that time to touch back in on and really be present to all of those various layers in terms of what brings you fulfillment, what brings you joy, and what also, nourishes and nurtures you on a soul level. Okay, so what will this full moon bring to your awareness? Clarity of thought, Ace of Swords. These are some really beautiful energies for you, Pisces. I'm loving this. Pisces, I don't think not too many people kind of give the focus on how mental Piscean energies are. I know that it's all emotion very much, but the thinking aspect of things and the sensitivity to the nervous system. So having this Ace of Swords, I'm loving this in terms of clarity of thought, the ability to really execute your ideas, your goals, to trust and have confidence in where you are wanting to apply yourself and where you are currently applying yourself for that matter. So, having that, again, confidence and feeling self-empowered about who you are literally on a conscious perspective and how you are approaching your life, your goals, and so forth. So what we might need to revisit this full moon, Father of Pentacles, practicality, step by step. I understand, things can feel very, very good, very conducive to just I could just kind of swim in this beautiful rainbow colored pool of love energy all day, but things need to happen. So where can we apply ourselves? Where can we take all of that goodness and start to put it into some kind of solid action, even if it's about, how shall I put this? Stepping back. I'm getting this energy of getting a layout of the land so that you can know where to best approach these new beginnings, these new ideas, where your sights, where your mind is really sort of zeroing in. There's like a target that I'm feeling that you're wanting to kind of, move towards, Pisces. So let's get some advice for a smooth full moon. 5 of Pentacles. Okay. Yeah. Don't feel let down, or how shall I put this? As if, oh gosh, what I want isn't meant to happen. It's not going to happen because it's not happening fast enough. Don't let, whatever may seem to be in resistance, whatever may seem to not be going the way or looking physically how you might like it to look, don't let that distract you from what needs to be done. Okay, Pisces, this 5 of Pentacles is a card of recovery. It's a card that symbolizes that, things that we may have had some tough times. Things may have been a little bit more grueling, but we're moving on toward better times. We're moving on toward actionable steps that are stabilizing, that are harmonizing, that are, that word recovery, toward recovery. Okay, so releasing what no longer serves, allowing for the old energies to really cycle out, address and honor all of what needs to be done, and effectively give it that space to be put to rest like anything else, so that when the new comes in, you're not kind of like, oh my gosh, have all of this stuff to kind of deal with. Everything's in its right place here. So what sort of downtime vacation are you so craving? 3 of Cups. Yeah, good company. Like-minded, good time, good food. Honestly, just really light, refreshing food, drink, company that really is a soul match, a soul group, soul mate type vibes, like just friends friends, you know, family, that kind of thing, where you can share in good times, to be honest, as all of these other sort of transitions and things that are beyond your control, you know, need to take place. Because from here, the Father of Pentacles, I can see as that business person or a manager, but it's like they have to manage and oversee everything. They're not the ones. Like, once I put the order through, once I say, okay, this is this, that is that, I gotta wait now. I gotta wait for the delivery. I gotta wait for the feedback. So that's where it says, you know, go in and take, you know, blow some steam off, have a good chat and a good time with your friends and whatnot in the meantime. And all that being said, Pisces, check us out, girlormoon.com, to schedule a personal session of your own, of course. And also consider looking at your moon and rising signs for some additional astrological guidance. So take care. Till next time.